Hi, hi, hi. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday night. Welcome to Raincross Farms Makery. I'm Robin. Behind the camera and behind the computer is my husband, Bill. And we are just outside of Lewiston, Idaho. And we are here to do some crafting. So thanks for joining us. And hopefully you learn something new or you get inspired. That is our goal. Let me make sure my live is going to my phone so I can read some comments a little closer. And there I am. So hello, Liana. Hello, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Mr. Cricket Iron. Mr. Cricket Iron, he's over here making a noise. Hello, Terry. Welcome. Hi, Patty. How is everybody? Okay, so you know the drill. Love our page, follow our page. We're almost at 750. And if you are so inclined, please sprinkle our page to your friends, to any craft groups you're part of. That helps our business out immensely on Facebook. Last night I showed you some kits that I had put together for sale, and so I actually made one of them, and I actually made another one. You'll notice this is a different design than the one I did last night, so I made up another one. But I've got them up for sale. I can't advertise it on this page, but you can go to the VIP page and see it, or you can comment, what did I say? Valentine. You can comment Valentine, and you'll be sent a link to your messenger, and you can see their cost and what all is in them. And anyway, that's up and going, and I have a limited quantity, so snatch them up while they're available. Hey, how is everybody? Hopping on. Cherie, hello, welcome. Okay, tonight we are going to do a fun craft project. I cannot take credit for thinking this up. I saw this technique done by one of my team members. Her name is Joy Lynn. I can't remember. I don't know what her last name is. I just know her as Joy Lynn. Anyway, she made this t-shirt, and it was awesome. And she said we had permission to use the technique, so I'm going to show it to you, but I'm wanting you to know I didn't think this up. I'm just copying it from her, and I don't know where she got the inspiration, but she does. She has a lot. She's kind of an innovator. So anyway, Joylyn, thank you so much. I am going to attempt to simulate your design. So we are going to be using ink because we're going to do a t-shirt. And I went and got my white t-shirt because I think it will look best on a white background. And I took off the tag. And we are... Oh, sorry.
Cheryl said she's getting better a little each day.
Good. Hopefully you're at the tail end of this. Okay. And I'm probably going to be messing with my hair because I don't know if it's the weather or what, but I have had so much static in my hair. It is just driving me crazy. Actually, I have a dryer sheet that I've been wiping my hair with just to get that static down. So I will try to maintain composure if my hair goes crazy. What we're going to do on this is we're going to use our club transfer. And I just happened to get my club transfer in the mail today. I got my designer copy earlier. We've used it a couple of times, but I got my actual club transfer in the mail today. So if you're a member of our club, this is what you'll get in your mail every month. This is a monthly subscription kit. So every month you will get a little package like this to your mailbox, and it will come with an exclusive transfer that only club members and designers can get. And this one, some of you have seen it before. If not, I'm showing you how exciting it is to open it up. So here is our transfer. It says, love is not just looking at each other, it's looking in the same direction. And that's a quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who wrote The Little Prince, in case you're interested. Okay, so we're going to use this. This also comes with some chalk paste, some individual packets of chalk paste. And this month, let me show you what colors come in January's. It's not too late to get the January kit. So it comes with Raspberry Sorbet. It comes with Peony, which is a lighter pink. So a deep pink, a light pink, and it comes with Shimmer Silver. So that's what you get, $19.99 a month. You get the exclusive transfer and 3 paste packets to your door every month. And so all you need is a surface to chalk it on and a couple of basic supplies, which I'll set you up with if you become a club member. If you're interested in that, you can type in the word club in the comments and you'll get some information about that. But anyway, we're going to use this transfer on our t-shirt, but first we're going to give it a watercolor background. It looked so cool and she made it look so easy. So I've got my shirt and I'm going to put it on an ink mat. Now this is our ink mat that I sell in my shop. Put that away. It's basically just a plastic mat. It's a lot like a Cricut mat. It's sticky and its purpose is twofold: to keep any of the ink from transferring from the front layer to the back layer, so it kind of stops the ink from bleeding through should your fabric want to bleed through. And it also holds your fabric in place. So you don't have to use an ink mat. You could use a Cricut mat. You could just use a piece of cardboard. But it's really nice to have the sticky back. So I'm just putting this down and I'm making sure there's no wrinkles. I got a V-neck because Bill says V-necks look better on me than the round neck. Okay. So I've got that down nice and smooth. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to use 3 colors of ink. I'm going to use Couture Coral, I'm going to use Bumblebee, and I'm going to use Couture Teal. So these are inks. So this is our permanent version that needs to be heat set, but once it's heat set, it's permanent. It's not like our pastes that are semi-permanent and you can scratch them off. These will be permanent when we heat set them. So what I'm going to do, set that aside, I'm going to thin this down because it's going to be like watercolor. And first time I'm using this, I'm peeling off the foil. And I'm scraping all that off. You don't need to keep this. Once it's opened, it will keep just fine. Throw that away, and I've got ink all over me, which I want to clean up right away so I don't smear ink, because again, it will be permanent. If I get it on the fabric, it will be permanent there where I don't want it. Hi, Melissa. Okay, so let's see. Let me get out a couple of stir sticks. I'm just going to use the lid. So I'm going to put a little bit of ink in here. And I'm going to do the same thing with the Bumblebee. Put a little bit of ink in the lid. And the teal. Okay, now I'm going to take distilled water. Distilled water is important because if I have any excess, I can put it back in the jar if I use distilled water. That with distilled water, it doesn't allow mold to grow or any bacteria, anything like that. So watering this down. So again, I'm going after a watercolor technique. A little more water. So it's really, really thin. Has anybody seen this? Has anybody watched Joy Lynn do this? I know some of you guys watch other designers, which is absolutely fine. I watch them too. Has anybody seen this done?
Also, Melissa said, I almost missed you. I'm trying to organize some of my craft stuff. Trying being the operative word. I needed a break anyway, so great time.
Okay, I might need to thin that down a little bit more. I'm going to do the same thing with my bumblebee.
Melissa says she has not. Patty's hello, Patty Bender.
Hi, Patty.
No, she has not seen it.
Okay. Stir, stir, stir. Basically just getting that water to incorporate so there's no little lumps. And the teal. Okay, so Cheryl has seen the technique done, just not with the Chalk Couture. Yes. Well, I hope I do the technique justice. Like I said, Joy made it look so easy. Okay, so I've got this thinned down. And I'm going to use, she just used a regular paintbrush, but I'm going to use these chippy brushes. I got these at pretty sure I got these at the Dollar Tree. And
you can get them at Harbor Freight.
You get them at Harbor Freight. If your husband has a coupon, even better. Yeah, tell your husband you need to shop at, you need to stop off at Harbor Freight and he'll go. Dollar Tree, not so much. Okay, I'm going to put these off to the side, and I'm going to be working out of the lids, and I'm going to make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers, especially with this white shirt. And I have coral all over me. Okay. So, again, I have the ink mat in here. Try not to that. And I'm going to actually spray the shirt. And that's one thing that's great with this fine mist sprayer, is it puts just a fine mist on. I'm just wetting this a little bit so my colors will kind of blend and flow. And I'm actually going to spray my brush a little bit, and I'm not going to go straight across. I'm going to kind of do an angle, and I'm going to, when I'm all done, I'm going to put this on it. So I need to kind of see how big it needs to be. Okay, so here goes.
Here goes.
You know what? I'm going to start on a paper towel.
Now, Patty says, is this similar to what I did? Oh, to what Joy did?
Yes. You missed the very beginning. I mentioned how this is not my creation, but I am copying this from what Joy did. And I'm just, I don't want it to be smooth. I kind of want it to be a little chunky. And I might actually want it thinned out just a little bit more. Put a little more water in there. I'm actually going to spray a little bit. Hope this works out. I don't know what I'm doing.
Isn't that half of what crafting is about, though? Just getting
Making it up as you go. Yeah, kind of winging it.
That's what I did every day going in when I was teaching.
Yep.
And I don't know what I'm doing, but here we go.
Here we go. Let's get started. Okay, so let's see. Is that about a third? Let me go up a little bit here. So I thought I would try this chip brush because it kind of makes it a little more streaky, if that makes sense. Brush this out a bit. And I don't want full coverage. There's a big chunk of that. Let's spray that down a little bit. Okay, so that's probably a little more than I wanted, but it'll be all fine. It'll be fine, right? It will all work out. Go just a little bit lower.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. Okay, so there's my coral. I have it wide enough, you think? I think so. Okay, now I'm going to switch brushes. And I'm going to get this one wet. Again, I'm using distilled water so that if I have, like I do have a little bit of extra, I can put that back in my jar. And I'm going to try to blend the yellow in with the coral so it doesn't look like 3 lines.
Well, is it mixing and making orange, or is it?
Not completely. Not complete, but slightly. What do you think?
That's working.
Okay, let's see. I think I'm doing good. A little bit more. Okay, I never could pick up watercoloring in school. Art, back in school when we had art. Do you remember those days?
I do.
And I remember taking a class as a teacher. So I could teach how to do watercolor, and I was never really good at it. Now I'm going to take the teal. Same thing, I'm going to kind of go into the yellow. I think I'm kind of liking this. Kind of.
Why wouldn't you like it?
Well, because I didn't practice it, which a lot of times I do practice before I come on and show you something. I didn't practice this. One thing about the chip brush is it tends to leave its hair, its bristles. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is ink. I have just thinned it way down, so I will treat it the same as ink that I have chalked or applied through the stencil. I will still heat it to heat set it. It's just thinned out, so it's a lighter color. Yeah. Okay. We need more. Looks like.
You don't have to put a chunk of that in the clothes.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't know if I can get a chunk. Now that I'm trying to get a chunk.
But it's gonna look good anyway, because this is just your background.
Yes,
anyway.
we're gonna, yeah, and we're gonna stencil this over the front in black, so it's gonna be very, I am hoping it will look very bold. Okay, so I think I'm done, and I am going to, so I have all this extra ink, and because I use distilled water, it can go right back in my jar. So I'm going to close these up before I go any further. Same with the yellow. You guys over there snacking. It's a wonder you guys can't hear them crunching.
Me and the dogs.
Okay, so some of that on the outside.
Why do you think I have the sound turned the way I do?
So not everybody can hear you crunching?
Yep.
What are you guys eating?
Right now we're eating a couple of corn tortilla chips. I want to be careful how much I give the dogs because it's got salt on it. It's not too much salt.
They like
Probably
salt.
not good for me either.
Okay. Okay, so I've got those cleaned up. I'm making sure I have those cleaned up. I see a couple other little spots. I've got to get cleaned up. Like I said, I don't want to get ink anywhere that I don't want it because it will be permanent. So how are we doing? I like those colors too. I'm not a big pastel fan, but it sure looked pretty on Joy's shirt. Okay. So, and these I can just rinse out with water. In fact, I'm going to pour a little water in there so they don't dry out. So those will just clean up with water. Now, because I sprayed this, it's really wet. And I don't want to put down the transfer on the wet on the wet shirt. So I'm going to dry this, and I'm bringing out the big guns, not the heat gun, because that would burn the fabric. But I'm bringing out my big hair dryer, where it gets hot and it puts out a lot of air, because you guys don't want to sit and watch this dry. So it's also louder, but this gets a lot hotter than this one does, which is what I want because I've got a lot to dry. Is that too loud for you? So I can kind of see it's drying. I'm gonna get the top part of it wet. I'm gonna get the top part of it dry, and then I'm gonna remove it from the ink mat. And I may need a new hair dryer too, because I've been noticing it decides it wants to stop all of a sudden. I don't know if it's got a short.
So you only use that when you're doing big hair, right? Because you call that your big hair dryer.
It's not a big hair dryer, so I have big hair, and I'm not even from Texas. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. I'm going to end up putting it back on. But I'm going to take it off. And we didn't have any ink bleed through. But I want to dry this without that plastic backing. Ideally, told you. Ideally, you would let this dry on its own overnight, but we don't have that kind of time. So I'm doing it with the hairdryer. I think I really got that part wet. So where is Ken? No Ken tonight. No Alana tonight. Maybe they have dates on a Saturday night. Yes, he has a special something with the microphone that automatically mutes in cases like this. Okay, I'm going to turn it inside out. Kind of work on it from that way. Come on. There you go. I think it's dry. What do you think? I think it just bit the dust.
Think it's done?
I think it's done. Maybe it blew a fuse. No. Okay, well, we're done.
That's what's going to do it for now.
Yeah. We'll get the quick dry out for the other parts.
Does that mean we have to go back to Walmart?
Probably. You know what? I'm going to show you a trick for putting on the ink mat. Sometimes it gets kind of tricky, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn this inside out. I'm going to take the ink mat and I'm going to lay it down here. And then I'll turn the whole thing inside out. And it makes it a whole lot easier. Don't have all that wrangling to do.
I don't know if that would have been better to see it from over the top or not. Probably not. I think it's probably a better choice.
Okay. Now, I'm going to make sure there's no wrinkles.
Oh, now Alana's here.
Yay, Alana. What's a date? Exactly. It's a piece of fruit, right? Off of a palm tree. Okay. So, if you're just joining us, what I did is I used ink and in these 3 colors and I watered it down. Still feels a little bit
Moist.
oh. Still feels a little damp.
Wiggling it?
Slight bit damp. It'll probably be fine, but anyway, I watered down the ink and I just kind of painted it on there, trying to give it like a watercolor technique.
I was going to say you've got the highest number so far. We had 10 on a second ago.
Awesome.
So why don't you
Okay.
explain again what you're doing?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm looking for my other transfer. I didn't want to use my new one. There it is. Nope, that's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
I don't see it over here.
Oh, I wonder if I put it. Oh, well, I'll just use it. Anyway, so what I did is I took our Chalkology ink, which is our permanent form of coloring, and I watered it down a lot, and then I used these chip brushes. I don't want to drip. Okay. So I used these chip brushes. You could just use a regular paintbrush if you wanted to, and I just kind of stroked it on, tried to kind of blend it in where it met so it didn't like have lines. And let's see, I'm going to look one more place.
Gotta be there somewhere.
Well, it was. Do. I know it was there. It's not under Let Your Hearts Be Glad, is it? Okay. Well, I will use my brand new one. Okay, so this is the club transfer for January. After January 31st, it will be unavailable.
That's upstairs. I saw it upstairs.
Okay, I don't know why I would have taken it upstairs. Anyway, okay, so this is reusable, self-adhesive silkscreen transfers. So I'm going to peel it off. Because I'm putting it on fabric, I don't need to fuzz it because it's going on fuzz. And I am placing this so that it is centered on the shirt. In fact, I can take this and kind of line that up so it's relatively straight. And I'm going to start in the middle and push towards the outsides. I'm going to make sure there's no bubbles, air bubbles underneath there. And I'm going to make sure that adhesive is really stuck down on the fabric. If it's not, if there's a gap in it, then my ink can possibly bleed and not have the best result. So pushing this down. And I'm going to do the lettering in black, solid, all of it in black. And I'm going to open it away from that in case any little crusty things decide to drip. I don't want it to drip on my shirt. And I'm going to use a small squeegee because it's all one color. I'm just going to go boom, boom, boom. Now, when I do ink on shirts, I want to make sure that I'm just going in one direction. I don't want to go back and forth. I don't want to go left to right and then top to bottom. So I'm just going to go, top to bottom. And that will minimize any possible bleeding. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, everybody. You haven't seen what Joy's looked like. Well, some of you haven't. So maybe you won't be able to compare. But I know, and I want it to look good. And I'm going to ink that guy's name because, by golly, he wrote something. And if it's worthy of a t-shirt, it's worthy of having his name on it. Okay. So I'm going to go back over it, smooth it out, make sure there's no lines. I'm not pushing really hard. I'm just making sure it goes through that screen. Think that's good. I'm going to put this away. Put this away. Now with ink, you have a little more time, a little more drying time. It takes quite a while. So I'm not in a hurry to get that up. And again, check your fingers for any ink because I don't want to pick that up and put down a chunk of black ink anywhere. Okay, so are we ready? We're going to peel it off slowly.
Watching with bated breath.
Okay, now I didn't fuzz this or anything, so it's really sticky there. Hold this down.
Ooh.
And kind of walk it off. I don't want to pull from a corner. I really want to just pull from the middle. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. Joy, you are amazing. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? I kind of wish I had gotten a little more of the coral up there, but I think it still looks good. What do you think? Let me lift it up.
You're getting some hearts.
What do you think? Woo-hoo-hoo! Fancy. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside right there because I'm going to let it dry for a sec. Look what I found. Now I don't have a new one. Anyway, to clean our transfers with ink, same thing as with paste. You're just going to spray it down. Now this black will stain because it's highly pigmented. So I'm spraying it with water. I am spraying it with distilled water, but I don't have to because I don't have any ink that I'm going to put back in a jar. And I'm starting with a paper towel to just get all of this stuff up so I don't have to deal with it in my board eraser. Okay, and then I'll trash that. And I didn't bring my bucket of water. So I will just do it with spray. Okay. Ordinarily I would dip this in a bucket of water and wring it out, but you don't have to. I'm just going to spray it. I got a little bit of water on this. I'm going to use my board eraser and take off the rest of that ink. And I'm going to turn it over because some of the ink kind of bleeds through the back. And so I'm going to take the rest of that ink off and any fibers that I pulled up from the t-shirt. And my goal is to get all of the ink or paste, if I was using paste, get that out of the screen because that's where the magic happens. Okay. So I've got that all cleaned up. I'm going to leave it sticky side up. It's not, when it's wet, it isn't sticky. When it dries, it will get sticky again. Okay. I've got that. Now let's bring this back. Oops. Bring this back, and before we heat set it, we want this to be dry. Let me get some of my stuff out of the way. So let's see if we can get this to work again. See what I did there? I'm getting tricky. So I'm guessing it is a loose connection.
Well, that's something that I can fight.
Maybe. This is a very old hair dryer. So,
I used to tell everybody at school that old guys know stuff.
old guy, we do. You guys do. Okay, so ordinarily, hopefully you can hear me. Ordinarily, I would have you air dry this. So don't be impatient with it, but because you don't want to watch it air dry for overnight, I'm going to dry it with our hair dryer. And till it's not tacky anymore. And then I'm going to peel this off again, because when I heat set it, I don't want to melt this, which is what would happen. Put that down. And I'm going to take the plastic cover and put this back on my ink mat so that it stays sticky. There'll come a time when it kind of loses its stickiness. It grabs up so many fibers, and you can wash it with just water and you can use your board eraser or just to get that fuzz off, but it stays sticky for a long time. That aside, and this is dry. I need a table like right there. Okay. So this is dry, so I'm going to take my backer sheet, the shiny side, to the sticky side, and I'm going to line it up on one edge, press it down, push it out, make sure there's no wrinkles, and put it back in my bag, and I can reuse this 10 to 12 times, maybe even more, if I take really good care of it. The company guarantees 10 to 12 uses, but I know I can actually get more out of it if I take really good care of it. Okay. So.
Yes, you can use a Cricut mat.
Yes. Yes, you can. Okay, so I'm going to put down my heat pad so I don't burn up my cutting board underneath. And I'm going to use, for this, I'm going to use the Easy Press, the Cricut Easy Press. But you can use a household iron just as well. So if you're using an Easy Press or any kind of heat press, you want to set it at about 350 degrees with t-shirt material or with cotton. If it's a more delicate fabric, you might want to back off on the temperature. And then you're going to get some parchment paper, not wax paper, parchment paper, and you're going to cover it. Now you can also do this with a household iron. With the Cricut, 350 degrees, and I'm going to have to do this in a couple different passes. 350 degrees for 30 seconds in a spot. With a household iron, you're going to, no steam, no water in it at all, medium high, not all the way high, but medium high, and you're going to keep it moving for about 4 minutes on each side. And it will do the same thing. It will heat set this. So my heat press isn't as big as the entire design, so I'm just going to move it, set it again for 30 seconds. So how many of you are going to try this now? Okay, so we answered the Cricut mat question. And Dawn thinks it's awesome. I think it is too. I wish I could say I invented it, but I didn't. I copied it from my friend Joy. She's amazing. If you get a chance, you can watch her. Again, I don't even know her last name. She goes by Joy Lynn. Now you can tell that it's heat set when it has cooled off. If it's no longer tacky, then you know it's heat set long enough. And then once I've heat set it, I can put this in the washer, dryer, no special temperature settings. Whatever you would use for that fabric, that's what you'd use for this. And I've done several t-shirts and they're all holding up really, really well. This would also make a great tote bag. This watercolor technique makes some tote bags. We're actually going to try some on paper, watercolor paper as a background. So that'll be fun. Okay, so I think I've got all the sections. Yeah, I see some steam coming off. Okay. but where it is cooled, it is no longer tacky at all. So I'm going to just make sure that it is completely heat set. I'm going to do the same thing to the inside, from the inside out. So if you have a garment or something that you can turn inside out, it's a good practice. It's a good practice to also heat set the back. Okay, same thing. 350, 30 seconds, household iron, medium high, no steam, about 4 minutes, and keep it moving so the little steam holes don't leave divots in your fabric. Cheryl thinks she might. I was debating, I wasn't sure, I didn't have a white t-shirt, and I was debating doing this on a black shirt with maybe the darker cut with the a little more solid colors and then inking it with white over the top. But then I went into town and I got a white t-shirt. So I might have to try it with black and see. I think might be a little more subtle. I don't know that the colors, to water it down that much, I don't know if the colors will be as bold against the black background. But I'll have to try it. Almost done. And now I know what I'm going to wear tomorrow. I also got a new shirt today. Do you like my pink shirt? I have no pink shirts. I have nothing to wear on Valentine's Day. So I saw this little sweater shirt and it wasn't offensive to me. I'm not a pink person. So I got it. Yes. And honestly, I do not do well with white t-shirts either. I get them so stained. If there's anything that I can spill on a t-shirt, it's going to be when I'm wearing a white t-shirt.
Cheryl says that came out really good.
Yeah, they're not huge ruffles, so I mean it's not like I'm a clown. Marshall's. I think I got it at Marshall's. Is that what's down? No, TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx. Ross. What is it? Ross and TJ Maxx? TJ Maxx. Marshall's? I don't know. One of those stores. I think they all are owned by the same people. Okay, so we are done. Cute shirt. Pink is one. Yes, I know it is, Alana. And you look so cute in pink. Okay, so cute, cute, cute. I like it. And hopefully it's not down too low. It gets up high enough. So I like it. I hope you do too. Cool technique. Gives it some pizzazz. So I hope you go out and try it. If you are interested, this transfer, I cannot sell it to you. You have to be a club member. And several of you are club members, and you should have already gotten, if you're a designer and you ordered early, you probably already have yours, but if you are just a club member, they should be here any day now. I just got mine today, and here's an awesome thing you can do with it. Nice little saying. Again, t-shirt, tote bag, you name it. I like it. So if you're interested in joining the club and getting this transfer, and I got a sneak peek of February's transfer, let's just say my mother would love it.
She said got mine and it sent her something in Messenger.
Oh, I don't know what magic phrase you used, Dawn, but you triggered the bot. Enjoy your message. Just ignore it. Anyway, if you're interested in joining the club, you can type club in the comments, or did I put the link? I think the link is in the pinned comments if you're interested. So we will be back on again tomorrow night. Not sure what we're doing tomorrow night, but I do know what we're doing Monday morning, and you don't want to miss that if you can help it. And don't forget, our little mini Valentine Mini Kits are now available. You type in Valentine, and I'll send you the link where you can take a look at what's included and get you some of those. And I think we're done.
To do Club Couture, you type in Club Couture. That's what you're doing.
Does it say type in club? Okay.
Club Couture.
Okay. Oh, did? Okay. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Let me pose.
Look pretty.
You know what? I'm way high up there.
You're way high up.
I'm way high up there. I'm going to sit down. Thanks, Joy. I had to put a little sign up. Joy's idea. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you again tomorrow night. Bye-bye. Happy crafting.